Hi everyone, so in this screencast I'm going to clarify the difference between shared units and individual copies of units in Toddle across multiple classes of the same course. So if, for example, you are teaching grade 9 design, as I have open here, your unit should belong to the course, not to individual classes. That means there should be one Ready, Set, Succeed, one learning through apps, one producing a film and documentary, and one sample unit. Not separate versions for each class. So I'm going to show you how to identify whether your units are shared or duplicated, and then how to select one version to keep and share it across classes and remove the extra copies so that the units are aligned. So the first thing to do is to check to see if the unit is actually shared across the different classes. So you can see I have, this is TDJ01 and then TDJ02, 03, and 04. Okay, and you can see it looks like all of these units are shared across all 4 separate sections of this course. Okay, so I'm going to come back to TDJ1, right? And so if I click on these 3 dots and click on Share, I can see that this particular unit has been shared across all of the design classes. Okay, so the one in section 1 is the same as the one here in section 2. Okay, and that's going to be the same for all 3 of these units. Now, if I come to this sample unit that I just created and I click on Share, what you'll notice is this is only shared with the TDJ0-1. Okay, and now if I go to TDJ102 and I click on the same sample unit, okay, you can see this is only shared with this section of design. So what that means is essentially there are 2 different versions. They have the same name, but they're 2 versions of this unit. Okay, so what can we do? The first thing you should do is decide which one of these is the one that is the most recent, or the one that you would like to keep and the one that you want to share across those classes. Okay, so let's say, for example, this one is the one that I want to keep. Okay, so the one in this class, the section 2 of grade 9 design, sample unit, is the one I want to keep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this one. So I'm just going to click on Edit. Okay, and I'm just, for now, just going to call it Keep. Okay, doesn't really matter. You can rename it wherever you want. But now, what we'll notice is if I click on the other sections, so I click back on section 1, this still has the same original name. Click on section 3, okay, same original name. Click on section 4, same original name. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to section 2, the one that we're going to keep, and I am going to share it. Okay, so I'm going to share all the sections of grade 9 design. Okay, so it said it shared successfully. So now if I come back to section 1 and hit refresh, now there are 2 of this unit. One is the original one that was part of section 1, and one is the one that we've just shared and said we're going to keep. So now what I can do is I can come in here, and I know this is the one I'm not going to keep, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, same thing for section 3. I'll come in here. Okay, refresh. Okay, and now you can see, right, there's the keep one and the one we want to, the older one we want to delete. Click on delete, and do the same thing for section 4. Refresh the page. And again, we're going to keep that one and delete this one. Okay, if you do accidentally delete a unit, it does go to a system recycle bin and it can be restored for, I think, up to 30 days. Okay, so now when we look through all of our classes again, section 4 has the one we want to keep, section 3 has the one we want to keep, 2 is where it was to begin with, and 1 also has it. And in any of these, if I click on share, you can see that it's shared across all of the sections of design, and that teachers will now be editing the same unit. Okay, so that's it for this screencast. I hope it helps with keeping units organized. Thank you for watching.